This new Barry Harris routine is insane, but if you learn it, it's going to open up your harmonic palette and give you lots of ideas.
We're going to have a torture test right now. You got to play in 4 keys. Ho. Start in C. Minor now. Ma, da, da, da. No, A flat, A flat. That's the 2 at E flat. Come back to E flat 1.
Oh.
In this video, we're going to show you his original practice routine, at least how I practice it. Then I'm going to show you how I've updated it with some contemporary new gospel sounds. And then we're going to show you how it can help you with song. Now, it's best to see this as a series of 4 chords cycling through 4 keys. And first we would have, if we're in the key of C, we would have our C chord, our C major chord. Second, we're going to have our D minor chord. Third, we're going to have our E minor chord. And fourth, we're going to have the 4 chord, but it's going to be a minor chord. Now, this 4 chord is also the 2 chord of the new key, because the new key is E flat, and the 2 key of E flat is F minor. So this transition chord should open up, if you're practicing this correctly, should open up some ideas for you on how to transition in and out of keys by having this transition key, which could be seen as both in the key of C and in the key of E flat. And then he has a melody line on each chord. And so the melody line goes something like this. So what's happening there is when I'm playing the chords in each block, I'm leaving off the 5. So I'm not playing the 5th note. And so what we do is we start with the 7. So if we're in a C major chord, the 7th note would be a B. Then we go to the 6th note. Then we go to a half step below. And then we go back up again, back up to the 6th note. Same thing with the next chord, the D minor, no 5, start with the 7th note. 7th note of a D minor is a C, go to the 6th. Half step down, go back to the 6th, go to the 3rd, which is an E minor, no 5, 7th note, 6th note is a C, go down a half step, go back to the C, and then when you go to 4, we're on an F minor chord, 7th note, no 5, 7th note is an E flat, 6th note is a D, then we have the half step down, and then back to the 6th. And then from here, we start over in the new key, which is an E flat. So now our 7th note is here, our 6th note is here, and then our half step down is here. Then for F minor, 7th note, 6, half step, 6, gonna go faster. So on the G chord, 7th note, 6, half step down, back up to the 6th. And then, of course, when you're in 4, we're now in an A flat minor, which is the connect key. So we're now in the key of F sharp, because remember, we're on the 2, the 2nd chord of F sharp, no 5. And then you go to the 1 of the next block, 2, 3, 4, which is going to be the 2 of A. Now go to the 1. We're in A now. Well, we're in A in the last measure. So 2, 3, and then the last would be the 2 of your C. Okay, so that's the simple version. But what he did, which was really interesting, was he took that melody line to the bottom and gave a really nice sound there, which sounds really good, especially when it's moving. And then what we did is we harmonized the B with the D. So it's kind of like going like this. So it's kind of doing that, but we have this B an octave lower, right? So it sounds like this. Okay, and so we do the same thing again, but remember, the melody is kind of at the bottom of the chord, like this. 3 to the 2 of E flat, 1 of E flat, 2, 3 to the 2 of two of F sharp and 4, and then 1 of 2, 3 to the 2 of A to the 1 of A to the 2 to the 3 to the 4th, which is the 2 of C. Okay, so you may have to slow that video down, but that's kind of how I've been practicing Barry Harris. Now, the question some of you would be asking, though, is how does this help me, right? And why would I be practicing this? Well, I think Jay Verma explains this best. So here's what he says in this video.
And what I see, this will be crazy for you, bro, but this is C major 9, and I call it C major 9, but in my head, what I was thinking was Barry would call this C major with 2 diminished notes.
Wow.
And he would call this, he would say, you could resolve it like this. He'd go to me, Jay, resolve it. And I'd say, what? And he'd go like this. He'd say, that's
right. The B would have to resolve.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, we all, and we're not, it's not for...
Right, so instead of just seeing this as just random notes, I'm seeing this as, okay, this chord isn't fully resolved, but when I go to the A, it is. So this is like a diminished note, and this is a home note, and then this is a diminished note, and this is a home note. And so this is really helpful for me because then it's seeing this as almost being like a tension here, and then here we release the tension. And then we go to this note, it's tension, but then it wants to release when you get back to that A. And so we have this tension, release, tension, release. It's really cool because that's all music is just finding the interplay between tension notes and release notes and finding that balance between them. And that's what makes this exercise really unique. So now we're going to take the Barry Harris practice routine, and I'm going to add my own contemporary gospel chords, but we're going to still keep the melody intact, and we're going to practice it just this way, cycle through the keys, cycle through the blocks. So I want you to hear how it sounds. Here's block 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 in E flat now, half diminish, 3, block 4, 1. I'm in 1 of A now. Okay, so that was a good version, and we added some new things in there. Let me explain each block, at least what you can get from each one. So in this first one, the melody line is moving down. I love that move, and gospel musicians, we love dominant chords because dominant chords are a staple. If you're playing gospel music, you have to learn how to play dominant chords in various different ways. And now we're learning that we can actually have a melody line to that dominant chord, and that dominant chord is now going to an F sharp half diminished, which is the start of 2. Start of 2 was on a 2 chord, but we're replacing that 2 chord with an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, which already should open up the mind into some harmonic choices that you can do. This 2 chords on an F sharp, which is the 2, and if you go to the 5, which is a B, that's going to automatically lead to the 3 chord because we have a 2 5 1, which nicely goes right to the 3rd. Also, by the way, that on the 5 chord we're doing a sus voicing, which is a really nice gospel move there. Now when we're in the 3rd block, really good movement there with that bass, that left hand, that melodic line in the left hand, which goes to an inverted dominant. Check out the video on inverted dominant. It's a really nice move there, right? And then when we do this part, really cool move there. I combined 2 moves there. Paul Cornish's song, We Wish You a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I love that move there, where he goes from the half diminished chord and he takes the melody up a half step. But But instead of making that also a half diminished chord, he changed it to a sus voicing. So I added that nice voicing into this practice exercise. In addition, I have another video on YouTube talking about how the gospel musician loves to use the 9 sus 4 to the flat 9. Right? That sound. So that's also in there. So it sounded like this. Okay, and now that whole movement gets us right back in the key of E flat, and then we do the entire cycle all over again. So I've really been loving Somewhere Over the Rainbow lately, B flat. Okay, let's start from the top. Over the rain. So I was using Barry Harris stuff all through that thing. Man, somewhere. And then over, I did this on. So here's where I'm playing now, because I'm looking at each section as blocks. When we were in the key of G, the third chord, the third would be a G minor chord. And so I have that. So I have that melodic structure in my head from the practice. And so I was able to add it in a way that's just so unique and different that it made it sound really different. I'm trying to think if there's something else I did. Yeah, I see. And there was another one that I added there before I did this. So I got that from 4. So you can see like all of this stuff here is just like applicable to other songs, right? And what's really cool about it is just kind of, because I'm an ear player, not a theory player. So what happens is I get this thing inside in terms of an ear perspective and what I like to hear. And then I try to figure out where does my ear, because see, the ear makes placement decisions. So the ear's job is to say, you know what? I think something should go here. So I have a great video on my YouTube channel that talks about it's the vocabulary actually that helps with the hearing and the ear that actually helps with the placement. It's cool stuff, very different. I know it's not how you may have learned, but it's my theory and it's how I do it. So let me try to think of another example. So let's do I Surrender All, E flat. Let's do just a chorus. So I surrender and then I surrender all. Here's Barry. You hear how I've used a melody to do that? Right, so in here, I harmonized on I surrender all, I surrender all. And when we hit that G, I was thinking of a C major chord. And then I thought about a B major chord, B major 7. And then I thought about the target. So it's kind of like one note. C, B, B flat, right? And then on my C chord, I used what we learned in the Barry Harris. And then I did the B major chord. And then I'm at my all. And And just like that, we could take something from one song, and we have a lot of choices and really just ways to really expand in terms of the creative palette. Just so much we can do here with just a few of the ideas from this exercise. And we're just experimenting. That's what I recommend you do. Just experiment it. What was the song I went to go see this weekend? Mermaid. There's a movement there, because I was thinking there of the fact that when we were in C, the 1, the 2, the 3. Remember, this one here was the 2 of E flat. So now I'm thinking in my head, let me go to E flat, right? Right, see, and we're back at C. So again, just a lot of choices here of what we can do and use this and ways to harmonize this.